War had reshaped the stars. It was supposed to be just another quiet assignment. A post-war reconstruction job on a distant colony world, Alvora 6. Earth had helped win the war against the Zarashi invaders, and now we were the so-called peacekeepers. But peace never came easy, not in broken places. My role was simple: ensure stability, rebuild communication infrastructure, and stay out of the local species' way. But nothing was ever simple on Alvora. The Alvorians were humanoid in form, but distinct, taller, leaner, with silvery skin that shimmered under moonlight. Their eyes held sorrow like ancient oceans. And they'd lost so many in the war, especially the men. I lived alone in a solar-heated prefab shelter on the outskirts of the settlement zone. I kept mostly to myself, until she knocked. It was the dead of night when the door chimed. The cold wind howled beyond the threshold, and frost bit at the window panes. I didn't expect anyone. Grabbing my thermal jacket and sidearm, just in case, I opened the door. She stood there, tall, regal, but exhausted. Her eyes shimmered with desperation and defiance. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "You are the human named Elias?" I nodded. "My name is Lira. I am a widow. My children." She looked behind her, and two smaller forms stepped from the shadows, huddled under fur-lined cloaks. "My children need a father. And you," she swallowed. "You are alone." I stared at her, stunned. Was this a joke? Some strange custom? But there was no deceit in her eyes, just weariness and hope. "Come in," I said, stepping aside. They entered silently. The children clung to each other, their faces pale and frost-kissed. I gave them blankets, activated the warming panels, and made some synth bread and broth. Lira remained standing, watching me with cautious grace. After some time, I asked the question burning in my mind: why me? Her gaze was steady. "You helped rebuild the water system in Sector 4. You stopped the soldiers from looting our temple. You looked at us like people, not ghosts." I sighed. "That's just basic decency. To us it is rare." They stayed the night, then another, and another. The settlement council didn't question it. In fact, they seemed relieved. Cross-species unions weren't common, but they weren't illegal. Alvorian biology was surprisingly compatible, and emotionally, they craved connection. So did I. The war had taken my brother, my fiancé. Earth never felt like home anymore. But this quiet cabin, the warmth of laughter in the evenings, Lyra's soothing voice as she taught her children to sing in her native tongue, this started to feel like something I never thought I'd have again. A family. Weeks passed. Lira took over the hearth. Her hands, once used for warcraft and field medicine, now braided the children's hair and taught them to dance. And each night, she sat by my side as the fire crackled. She never pushed, never assumed, until one night, as snow fell like feathers outside the frosted window, she turned to me. "Elias, may I speak plainly?" I nodded. "I will warm your bed, if you will have me." I choked on my drink. "Lira, are you sure? You don't owe me." "I offer not from debt," she said firmly, "but from desire. You are kind, strong, steady. And my children, they laugh again because of you." I looked at her then, truly looked. She wasn't a widow seeking a replacement. She was a warrior choosing peace, and she was offering her heart. That night, we shared more than warmth. It was strange at first, new, delicate, but it wasn't awkward. Lira was patient, gentle, and when we lay in silence afterward, her fingers tracing my chest in quiet thought, she whispered, "Thank you for saying yes." Trouble came in the third month. A human official from Central Command arrived. Bureaucratic, cold, suspicious. He didn't like my living arrangement. "You're emotionally compromised," he snapped. "She could be manipulating you." I stood my ground. "And you'd rather I let them starve in the snow?" "They're not our responsibility," he muttered. That's where you're wrong. The next week, I got the summons, transfer to another post. Lira said nothing when I told her, just nodded, her eyes hardening. The children cried. That night, I packed in silence. But as I reached for the last bag, I heard her voice. I will not stop you. But know this, if you go, we will survive. But we will never trust another human again. I turned. You think this is easy for me? She stepped closer, pain in every word. Then don't make it easy. Fight for us. I stayed. I filed a formal resistance to the transfer, citing emotional bonds, integration into local culture, and humanitarian ethics. It sparked controversy, but something shifted. Other humans, soldiers, engineers started stepping up, building connections, protecting their adopted families. One even married into an Alvorian healer's line. What began as scandal turned into a movement. A year later, Central Command recognized the Human-Alvorian Cohabitation Pact, allowing formal unions and shared custody rights. Lira and I made it official. Our wedding was half traditional, half improvised. Her children placed wreaths on my shoulders, and she painted my hands with silver ink, symbolizing protection. When I looked into her eyes, I no longer saw sorrow. I saw fire and love. Now, every evening, the fire still crackles. Our third child, a quiet girl with silver blue skin and my dark eyes, sleeps in Lira's arms as I tell the older two bedtime stories from Earth. Sometimes I still wonder how fate led her to my door that frozen night. But when she leans against me, warm and real, and whispers, "Thank you, Elias. You gave me more than a home. You gave me hope." I whisper back, "No, you gave me everything."